All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahshai by Shem Kodash. That belongs to the Apostle Noah's great millstone. Peace and blessing to you, brothers, Christians, truth throughout the four winds. This morning, I just want to expound a little more on the Gentiles. Just going in a little bit more on the topic. And let me see. I'm going to start in the book of Galatians. Chapter 3, I'm going to start at 28. It says, there is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for ye are all one Hamashiach Yahushua. And if ye be Hamashiachs, then ye are Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise. Okay, so to the common eye, this would seem that salvation has basically made its way to anyone. Okay, so let's expound on that a little bit. This is John 7:35. It says, then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go? That he shall not find him, that we shall not find him. Speaking on Yahushua. Will he go into the dispersed amongst the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? So now we have this hang up, because Jew nor Greek, bond nor free, and all those things. And now we're speaking on Gentiles. So what were they meaning by saying, is he going to go to the Gentiles to teach the Gentiles? Okay, so this shows a separation in the word right here. Because who said this? The Jews said it amongst themselves. So now they're looking like, because they knew that the Israelites were taking on Gentile customs. So now they're asking, is he going to go amongst the Gentiles to reach the Israelites who don't truly know who they are? Okay. This is James 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High and the Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, and the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So the whole time, the tribes throughout captivity and things of that nature became Gentiles. Like this is simple to those who can understand it. Okay, Israel lost their way when going into captivity and following other gods. It's no different than what we did this go round in captivity. It's no different. We're like basically repeating this process over again. Okay, so when we came over here, everything was beaten out of us to where you would form and shape and become accustomed to your slave master's doctrine, his ways, and you basically gave up your nationality and your culture. So that made you a foreigner of what you originally believed in. Okay, this is Isaiah 11th chapter, 11th verse. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. So to redo something means you were once in a state of original and you fell away from that. So now Yahweh Shem Yahshai is going to basically turn back the minds of these people to their original ways that they were. So where they wouldn't be Gentiles anymore. Okay. And it says his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea, And he shall set up an ensign for the nations. What's going on right now? Israel is waking up. So the nations, when we come out and we speak and say, this is who we are, that's an ensign. You know, the Lord set that up to where it can happen so the nations would know this is what you have to look forward to, because these men that I set up, they're going to be preaching exactly what's about to happen. It's the whole thing of prophecy. Okay? But we're Gentiles. We were Gentiles. And that's the thing. They will wake up from being Gentiles. Okay? It says, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. Now, when we went back up to John 7:35, it says, will he go to the dispersed, the spread out Israelites that follow Gentile customs and teach them amongst the original Gentiles whose ways they picked up? So when we come down here, it says, and shall assemble. Notice it was a word like recover the remnant of his people. Then we go down to verse 12 in Isaiah 11. It says he's going to set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. So how did we get to the four corners of the earth? Did not in Deuteronomy say we were going to come over here in ships? So if we were brought over here in captivity and slavery and had all these atrocities happen to where we were just basically nothing, we had no say in being freed. We had no say so in that, because the punishment that we got is what we deserved. So for everybody to be on top, that made us Gentiles. We're the only people running around with no we have no nationality tied to us until now. And then for the most part, well, 2/3 don't even believe that this is our nationality. You know, they want to tie us to everything but what we truly are. We became Gentiles. Okay? Acts 2, and I'm going to start at 4. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Wouldn't this be dispersed? So if there are men coming together and they're Jews out of every nation, that means you're going to get different Gentiles. You may have a Russian Gentile, but that's an Israelite. You may have a Korean Gentile, that's an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? They're coming from all over. But for what? They were dispersed there. And that's why when we go right back up to John 7:35, or better yet, Isaiah 11, it says he will recover the remnant of his people because they were dispersed. They became Gentiles in all the places they went to. Okay? That's why it says devout men out of every nation under heaven. Now, when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. So now the Spirit had it to where everybody understood what was being said. And all this news would go back to them when they went. It's like the internet today. This was the version of the internet back then. Word of mouth. You get the message, you spread it. The internet today, you post a video, it spreads. People can see it. Okay? So back then, they took the message and they went to their own countries. And that's how the good news made its way around. Okay, but it was to disperse of the Jews of Israel. Okay, it says, let me see, where was I at? Verse 7, Acts 2 and 7. And they were amazed and marveled, saying to one to another, Behold, are not all these men which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? So you just got a whole bunch of men, and you got the Spirit speaking to where everyone understands this good news. Okay, that was the point in tongues. It wasn't that stuff you hear in those church houses today. No, it was another language. So everybody was speaking or getting the good news in their own tongue. That's how the Spirit moved. Okay, this is First Maccabees, verse 1. Chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to the whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. This is what made them Gentiles. Same thing today. When you choose to follow pagan customs, it makes you a Gentile, because that's not originally what you do. Okay? Let me see. And sacrifice unto idols. Yesterday, did it not say that you were carried away to these dumb idols? That made you Gentiles. And profaned the Sabbath. For the king has sent letters by messengers into Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. That's what made them Gentiles. If it was a natural thing and everybody's Gentiles, why would it become a law made that you couldn't keep your holy days? And even yesterday, it said that you were put to death if you followed and kept your own laws. Why was it such a big thing? If you can receive it, you can receive it. If not, you just can't get it. Because that's what made us Gentiles, following the customs of other people. Okay? It says, 46, and pollute the sanctuary of the holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. What's the difference from today? We came over here in slavery. We're Gentiles in the mind. And one thing about our people, one thing they're not going to put down is that pork. So when you eat that pork and you're an Israelite, you're sacrificing unto idols. That's swine. The same things they were doing back then. Okay? You're polluting everything. People just don't get how all these things tie into each other. We've been here before. We've been Gentiles before. The process came to where Yahweh Shah will recover us and put us, most of us, 144,000, in the 1/3, but two-thirds of you not going to get it. Okay? That they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanliness and profanation. Okay? Basically profane. Okay, so to the end they might forget the law. So this was all done to get their minds mentally prepared to be used to seeing yourself not doing what it is that you originally done. Think about today when we got off the slave ships, trying to hold on to customs, trying to do what we did. What happened? It got beat out of us. So by the generational Time passing, we became accustomed to doing these things. That's why the Lord had to put us in remembrance of who we truly are. Simple. We had to be rekeyed in and put back to what we originally were. That's what the recovery was about. That's what remembering who you are is. Okay? Because so much time passed that each generation that came, we got so further and further away from Yahweh Shai that he had to personally make sure that this has to happen. It's all part of the story. Okay? Wow, that's deep. It says that 49, it says to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Now you got death hovering over your head if you don't keep what we got set up. Forget what you originally did. This is something that we have set up. Wow. 1 Corinthians 12:1. And it came to pass when Rehoboam had established the kingdom and had strengthened himself, he forsook the law of the Lord and all Israel with him. Verse 2. Know ye not that ye were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led? What made them that way? Simple. You forsook the law of the Lord and all Israel with him. It just told you they became Gentiles for forsaking what they were originally a part of. 1 Corinthians verse 10. Moreover, brethren, I would not have you ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea and were all baptized into Moses in the sea. Well, Moses in the cloud and in the sea. Now watch this. Isaiah 49:6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. So even back with Moses, the Lord kept a small remnant that passed through, that he would keep, that they would be even back then and make their way all the way to today. They were preserved. Okay? They were preserved. Okay? John 7:35. No, okay, I did that one already. Ephesians 2:12. That at that time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants and promises. Wow. Having no hope, and without the Most High in the world. But now, this recovery, but now, Yahweh Hamashiach, ye who sometimes were off, are made nigh by the blood of Hamashiach. Why? You're not Gentiles no more. You found your way back to the original through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. 14. For he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us. So the northern and southern tribes, when Yahweh Shai died, that brought them back together. And one tribe, when they went out in the mist, woke up everybody else who was in a Gentile mind state. The domino effect took place. Okay? Well, I hope this brought a little more light to the situation. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shem Yahshai, Shem Kadash. That belongs to the Apostle of the Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you, brothers, pushing truth out for wins. Till next time, Shalom.